man can't slow me down because I'm already slow as hell.
I was hoping you were going to go in that direction.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure where I was going, and then I went for it. Okay, you can do it, Mion. You can. Okay.
Just jump!
Okay, so that cut was because it took me multiple times to time this so that the gears were in the right position. So that's why there was an awkward cut there. I just didn't do it well, apparently. Again, I edited this a while ago.
Honestly, I didn't notice it, so...
And now we wait. The best part of any puzzle game is waiting.
Do you not go?
Brian, I'll fall.
Oh, I thought you were going to jump on the giant gear. I didn't know. Oh, I didn't see that.
No,
like a break.
You're going inside the gear.
What type of gear has, like, what is that, a Tesla coil?
Maybe.
What the fuck is that?
Brian, they're scientists.
That's stupid. Why? Why would you? Okay, you know, fuck it. I don't even. Oh, there she goes, falling on her face again.
Yeah.
So, you said that part of this was their lab. Is that true, or is all of it their lab?
We definitely started in the lab where she woke up. That is definitely part of the lab.
Okay.
As for everything being part of the lab, I would have some doubts.
Right. This doesn't seem like it would fulfill OSHA regulations
there
at all.
There is definitely no informed consent. Yes.
OSHA's fucking scary, alright? Like, they will come to your lab unannounced. And if they find shit that if everything's not in order, they will charge you like 10 grand. It's insane.
I'd like to talk about some of the stuff. We didn't have to deal with OSHA, but the research firm, or the research group I was working with, we did some research for the Air Force regarding domestic abuse, because that's what I was working with. I don't really think I can go into much more than that. I'm a little unclear. But, yeah, they had some requirements about things. They weren't super strict considering I was undergrad, but I also think I wasn't supposed to know a lot of the stuff.
Right. But yeah, the types of things OSHA checks for is like, are the fume hoods closed? Is shit left out that shouldn't be left out?
Yeah.
Did you spill something on the floor and not clean it up? And they told us, not OSHA, but the lab told us that if something we do results in a fine from OSHA, OSHA will hand the bill to Purdue. Purdue will hand the bill to our professor, our advisor, and our advisor will hand the bill to us.
Yep.
Us, the broke fucking grad students, will have to pay this like 10 grand bill.
Yep.
So, you know, that's pretty good motivation. It's pretty good motivation.
Anyway.
Although that did. Go on.
No, you can go on. I was just gonna say, we're doing a switch puzzle.
Yeah, but that did not stop. There was one student who left so he ordered his own chemicals because he didn't feel like sharing chemicals with people, and he kept them in his desk drawer.
That seems safe.
It was not, actually. I don't know why anyone would think that's not safe, but it turns out it wasn't. And the only reason people found out about it was because after he graduated, he left the chemicals in his drawer, and somebody opened it, and it was all corroded and all spilled everywhere. And I was like, "Oh my god, evacuate the building!" I don't know if they quite went that far, but
it's like, how long has it been like this?
It was like that for at least a couple months. It was not good. It was not good.
It was a not good?
But he was gone, so they couldn't punish him. how you do it.
That's the way to do it. The perfect crime.
Now, are they going to do more Switch puzzles? Like, was that just an introductory one?
The introductory one was probably the one a couple minutes ago. This is a particularly long one, which is why I'm speeding it up now. Because I have to go back and do it again, because it's a timed one.
Oh no!
You have to hit this switch over here, and then make it all the way to the end before the door closes.
Okay. No. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that.
And there's an achievement if you do it fast enough, and I think I might get the achievement this time, because I've already flipped all of the switches. However, there's also an achievement for doing it while you only hit switches, like, 5 times or something. Alright.
Like doing it with the fewest moves.
Here is where I started to die a million times.
Well, gee, the giant fucking saws.
Yeah, if that was any indication that this part might be a little difficult to live through. Because you gotta time it right to flip the switch to reverse the saw's direction. So that they don't kill you. And by the way, it's not necessarily easy to time this switch flick.
Well, seeing as how it's not even easy to get to the fucking switch.
That's because I didn't time it. I have to time it while the saws are still in contact. But it's too late now, I am dead. Accept your fate.
So, Mion is an independent being, right? Like, you're essentially... Wait, what the fuck was I going to ask? She's not controlling the Fireflies, right?
No, the Fireflies are leading her. They are all individual beings.
Okay. Are we going to get another one?
No.
So
What?
It's just these two?
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
the Shadow one and the not Shadow one.
Yeah, I thought, like, they would be introducing more varied techniques that you can employ as it went on, but I guess not.
Now, see, I'm interested to see what you think they could have done.
Well, let's see. This is basically a puzzle. Maybe something that could switch the locations of Lumen and the Shadow Lumen thing. Perhaps, like, you could position Lumen somewhere. But this will require you to be able to position the Shadow one independently without being in the Shadow Realm necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was easy.
Alright, so I only showed you guys one death. Can assure you there were many more deaths. And then there's this bullshit. Which this one I actually just had to recently replay because, spoilers, I missed the memory scene.
Oh.
On this stage, and I had to go back for it recently, which still took me like 6 times to get to it.
Wait, is she unconscious?
Yes, she fell down a chute onto conveyor belts.
Okay.
Anyway, this part, these puzzles with the conveyor belts are all about timing. As you may have noticed, a lot of these puzzles are all about timing.
Right.
In particular, now I don't show getting the memory fragment because, as I just said, spoilers, I don't. I have to come back for it. There's a lot of things you have to time in order to stay on this path the whole time. Like, you can get to the end if you mess up the timing, because you'll just fall down to the lower conveyor belts. But if you want to stay on the top path to get the memory fragment, there's a lot of things you need to time. Like this, you have to time, which I keep messing up the timing. You have to go while the thing is down and while the saw is right there.
Freaking out a little bit there.
I messed up the timing, so now I'm going down. Goodbye. And then once you get to the next part, which I'm pissed off now, so you're not gonna see it. You have to time it so that these guys, you have to, how do you have to do this? You have to get the switch that's across there, but you have to time it when these things are down to do it.
So what if you're not going to show the memory seed? What happens in it?
Well, no, I show all the memory seeds later, but I don't show doing this puzzle successfully.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
you have to stay on that top row the entire time to get to the memory seed. So you have to flick that switch, which involves doing it with when the squishy things are down. And then you see it right there? One of those switches lifts that last piece of the conveyor belt, and that's how you get it. I come back.
Well, how do you come back even? Because, like, is there, like, a map or something?
Well, you can replay any chapter you finished, but once you finish the game... Here's the reason why there's 2 endings. There's 4 chapters, and then there's Chapter X. The first time you play the game, there are 14 memory fragments. Oh god, this scene. Okay, I was here a couple times. This is a long one. You have to move her back and forth so that she stays alive and also dodges these saws.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Now see, that's kind of clever, but I can see how it would be frustrating.
Oh yeah,
anyway,
it's frustrating. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, the memory fragments. There are 14. However, on your playthrough, you can only do 13. The 14th one is after you beat Chapter 4.
Okay.
So, now one of the cool things about the memory fragments is you were going to say what happens in this one since you don't get it. Well, the memory fragment scenes you get will be the same regardless of what order you pick them up.
Oh, really?
The scenes are set to play in a specific order.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that would probably be the way to do it, because, like, otherwise you'd have to do something, like Breath of the Wild, where the well, actually, you know what? Breath of the Wild did it, like, in terms of you had memories that did have a set sequential order, but you could get them in any order you chose.
Well, in most games do have it so that you can pick things up in any order. This game in particular made it so that you will always get them in the same sequence no matter which one you touch. And I kind of appreciate that. And I think that's partially because that's where most of the story is told.
Mm-hmm.
And once you
I can see that.
Yeah, once you get to some of the later memory fragments, it's like, okay.
Okay, confusing, or...
You'll see.
All right.
We'll get there. In episode 12, mostly. That's where they all start getting a little creepypasta.
Oh. Her parents aren't, like, evil or something, are they?
Brian, they're scientists. Scientists aren't evil.
Oh my god. That means they are!
No, it means they aren't, because they're scientists. I mean, have you ever met an evil botanist?
I feel like the answer is yes, but I don't have an example offhand.
Well,
I mean, I feel like there could totally be, like, a supervillain, a comic book supervillain. Oh, well, I was thinking of Poison Ivy from Batman, but she's not really a botanist. I don't think, anyway.
You know what? She might have something, actually.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, wait, hang on. Poison Ivy Batman. I forgot Poison Ivy is actually a thing. Honestly. Okay. Yep, she was a doctor. She was a botanist.
Okay, there you go. Evil botanist.
Yep. I don't know if that's only in one universe, but here's what I was talking about. The maze.
Wait, why is it... What happens if you touch the...
You explode.
Why?
Because reasons.
At this time, too.
you'd have to be going exceptionally slow to, like, fuck it up. But yep, here we are at 15 minutes and 7 seconds. And we're at a maze.
Yeah, I can see you were doing it with the trackpad at this point, right?
Yeah, well, no, I was doing it with the trackpad the entire time because there was so much input lag.
Right. Yeah, like, it seems to me like this... do you think this would be harder or easier with a mouse? Because I feel like it would be easier with
I
the
think
mouse.
it would be about the same, actually. I'm pretty adept at using the trackpad at this point, so it really didn't bother me. And to be fair, she does... Okay, not in this one. In the later one, she kind of moves with the map a little bit, which makes it a little easier. So, yeah, this one is literally just a straight-up maze.
I mean, at least it's not that difficult of a maze.
And I did go through that part a little slow because she's ahead of me. And yes, I just straight up, I cut most, I think, every death except the first one I cut out for this one. Rest assured, I died many times.
How long did this end up taking you?
Yeah, I don't have the raw footage anymore, but I can tell you this is when I stopped being able to record my episodes in like 15-minute increments and then cutting them down.
Yeah, I should say so.
This is when I started getting an excessive number of deaths. Because remember, episode 4, I didn't say this over recording. Let me get the count out again for episode 4 deaths. Episode 4. Most of them were actually in that saw part that I cut all of them out of. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's... Oh, wait, no. The maze, I actually just put deaths times 50 because I stopped keeping counts. So I died a shitload of times there and just stopped counting. However, once we get to literally the worst boss fight ever, I have an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. An additional 28 deaths just on the boss. So there's at least 17 deaths plus a shitload of deaths on the maze, and I just stopped counting. And then 28 deaths on this asshole. Because here we are. We meet again for the first time for the last time.
Okay, like, that must have been super frustrating.
Oh yeah, I stopped for a while.
Coming to this boss after that maze bullshit.
Yeah. No, trust me. Let me see. I can actually see how, if I even recorded this on the same day as the maze, because this is when I started getting so frustrated that I considered not finishing the game. Which actually did happen with Psycho Waluigi too, but Psycho Waluigi wasn't difficult because of the controls. It was just challenging.
Right.
This was just unfair.
So, if you stand, like, at the back near the chute, will it attack you? Because it didn't seem like it was charging you or anything.
Well, what it will do is it tries to eat you. Like this.
Right, does it come toward you?
Yeah, like that.
No, I mean, like, if you move back toward where you came out of the chute and stay there, does it come for you?
It's scripted in that every time it lurches forward, it moves a little forward unless you blow it up. I could be wrong. I think if you don't attack it at all, it will eventually close on you.
Okay. What was the reasoning behind hiding under the minecart thing?
So you don't blow up.
I mean, can't you just run farther away?
So you don't blow up. Okay, so there's
Okay.
a 3-day gap between me getting to the boss fight and me beating the boss. Oh, Brian, here's what we were talking about a second ago. If you don't react to this fast enough, you die.
Oh.
He will one-hit KO you with a nuke.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What the hell?
When you beat the boss, he shoots a nuke at you. And if you don't time that right, you die. And you have to do the entire boss fight over again. Wouldn't
that kill him, though?
Yes. It's a last-ditch effort.
What the fuck? He could just leave!
No, because he's trying to eat you.
Okay.
But anyway, that boss fight isn't so bad once you cut out the 28 attempts.
Yeah, what was it about that in particular?
Well, for one thing, she wouldn't fucking let go of the dynamite.
Okay.
So, that makes things difficult when you have to time it specifically so that it eats the dynamite right when it explodes and you don't die.
Wait, hold it. It did not trigger the dynamite to explode?
Actually, you know what? Let me look back here. This might not be a part that has the dynamite on a timer. Because later dynamite... Okay, yeah, this dynamite is not on a timer. Okay. Later dynamite is on a timer. But you have to time it just right so that he eats it and does not eat you. But also, if you're too close to him, he will just use the flamethrower and kill you. And also, sometimes he really doesn't want to let go of the dynamite, which will kill you. And sometimes that debris I was talking about, it looks like it's falling into the background, right? Mm-hmm. No, that debris can kill you. Can and will kill you.
See... Yeah, like, the fact that we only saw your successful attempt, I was going, oh, that didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
And now hearing you describe it,
like,
okay, yeah,
it was. It's not so bad when I cut out the 28 deaths.
Right. Good God. At least it wasn't that long. At least the boss fight wasn't
No, that's the one thing, is that this stuff is super short when you cut out the 28 deaths.
Right.
But, well, no. Not that I digress. I'm just kind of saying the same thing over and over at this point. Tune in next time for the next worst moment in my life.